Hi everyone, welcome to the first official Future League video on the Chrono Walkers YouTube channel. This is actually half the reason we call ourselves Chrono Walkers is because we wanted to do content for the awesome players in Future League as well as for general players. So Chrono time, future, present. Thought that was a fun way to highlight that. So yeah, we're just going to take a look at all the awesome cards that just got released started yesterday at 3 p.m. for Future League testing.
So I will say, if you have anyone who wants to join the Future League, you can do that. It's open to anyone. It's really fun. You get to play with the new cards. But if you do not want any Future League spoilers, don't watch this video. Click away from it. Go watch something else. Go do something else. Because we're going to be spoiling cards that might be coming up in a new set. I know some people might not want to see these cards, so just a fair warning. But that being said, let's see some cards. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. First card up.
Arrow. So, okay, so let's just break it down first. 3 chi, forward awareness, technique, swift attack, 1 for 4 energy. This is a very clean card. We're just seeing this continual push into the base of what 3 chis can do. Not a lot of damage, but that awareness is sick.
Yeah, I mean, we see these in the strikes, right? But it's energy based. I'm a little surprised it's not ranged, kind of like Called Shot. It was just kind of reminds me of Called Shot, right? Maybe it was supposed to be ranged because Called Shot was also not ranged in Future League, even though it was supposed to be. So maybe it is. Anyway, yeah, seems fine.
Good thing to test. Not too much to talk about.
Yep. Now this one might be a little bit more conversation about. Bonk.
Yes. So Bonk, do you want to break it down for us, Eric?
It's a big bonk. Bonks you on the head, makes you forget things. So yeah, this is a forward awareness 5 chi, swift basic attack 3, 5 energy. Trigger cast. If a champion is dealt damage by Bonk and has 5 or more cards in their thoughts, then they must discard randomly down to 5. That actually should be 6 or more cards in their thoughts, just so you know. But yeah, this is a interesting kind of counter, so to speak, for those evil epiphany decks that I get like a billion cards and then try to kill you. How well does it counter? Probably not, but what do you think?
Yeah, so the issue there is those Epiphany decks are playing Swift Speed cards and Chrono Walkers or other movement tech. So, but it's unfortunately because of the nature of the cards that are being drawn by those decks that want to draw a lot of cards, they're just going to be able to play out cards to either get away from Bonk or just get down to 5 in response to Bonk. So yeah, I feel like this is a good direction of like card style, but just the texture of how it lines up to try and affect the decks it's trying to affect, it's actually not good enough to actually pull it off.
Yep, I agree. All right, Healing Boy. He's a good doggy. I don't see any doggy in the art, but hopefully it's a dog.
All right, so we got a 7G forward, left, right awareness, 6 health, 18 aura, so reasonable cost, a beckon, action speed, swift basic attack 3, exert, pretty reasonable, and then a trigger cast when Healing Boy enters the arena, everything gains HP 2. I think this is a reasonable card, but I'm just in my mind comparing it to things like Chrono Walker, which is effectively healing you for more than 2 when it comes down.
True, but it is taking damage, right, when it comes down, if it heals you.
Yes.
I mean, let's compare this to Archon of Vigor, though. Right? Archon of Vigor is an unplayable card that does something similar.
Right.
And this card is probably way better.
Yeah, I will say that healing everything, you don't need a lot of these to do something kind of fun and silly. I think we're all kind of familiar with the Angel decks, which are already strong because they're trying to do like the Angel Stone Protector, Angel Chair combo, but they still play River Need because just to get an Angel up to 7 health, which is kind of strong. So Healing Boy being able to heal multiple things, like, I mean, if you pull off the Trifecta and gain 6 health across multiple permanents,
yep,
or more, right? Things can stack.
That's right.
Yeah, there's definitely something here. So something worth playing around with for sure. I think it needs a different deck style than what we're currently seeing, but yeah.
Of course, be careful of healing your enemies either way.
Yeah.
All right, next one is a very weird card, an Archer's Post.
Yeah.
I do not know how to. I do not know what to think about this card. So it's a 3 health, 3 chi alteration. Its cost to create is a discard 1. Continuous occupancy. I assume that just means it occupies the spot.
Yes.
So, which is kind of interesting because it's a 3 chi that can occupy a spot.
Yeah.
Which is actually, I don't think we see that too often. And then for alterations. And then whenever a champion plays a range attack ability while adjacent to Archer's post, they may pay 4 energy. If they do, then that attack deals an additional 1 damage. So this kind of reminds me of that card that I forgot. But that's a 7 chi.
Yes, the skill.
This might be more playable than that card because it's better in multiples.
And also it's better for if you're at least at 2 energy, like it's a separate energy payment. It's not, you may pay an additional, like it's not modifying the payment of the card. I mean, that wouldn't work as a trigger. So the higher your energy goes, would you play 2 energy to make an attack deal additional damage? Yeah, I think I would.
Maybe.
Yeah, I could 2 cards, yeah.
I can see this definitely to shear as a way to either block your opponents from getting to you, kind of gum up the board a bit, and also just to deal a couple of extra damage, right?
I'm actually a little scared of this card because if there's a critical mass, like we'd have to look through, it'd take way longer with this video, but if there's a critical mass of like range abilities, I'd be kind of scared of some sort of epiphany card draw, play Archer's Post or more, and then dump a ton of cards onto your opponent in one turn, and all of them are additional damage.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind though is because it occupies a spot, generally these alterations you can't put them on places occupied, right?
Yes, that's a good point.
You can max stack 4 of these. But that costs 8 cards out of your hand, so that's going to be tough. So while I do understand, a little bit of worry, I'm not too worried about it because you'd have to draw so many cards just to be able to stack a lot of these. Like I can see like max like 1, maybe 2 over the course of the entire game. Like any more, you're just going to have like no cards left.
Yeah, I will say that the fear is more, I don't like the direction this pushes players to build decks rather than I think maybe a fear that this is exactly going to break something.
It is very weird, so who knows. Next up, we have another 3 chi, Tosser. Hopefully this thing gets changed, but anyway. 1 health, base attack of 1, 6 aura, forward awareness, trigger. If a combatant is dealt damage by Tosser, then you may place it on any spot around Tosser. So yeah, kind of like the toss mechanic that we've seen before, Rampage toss. And yeah, I mean, kind of nice. It costs the same as a 2 attack 3 chi that we've seen. Doesn't have any attributes. His attack is basic, but it has that toss trigger, which could be pretty good.
Yeah, I think there's something more. Like, you're not getting the raw damage, so maybe it doesn't line up well with current meta. But I do like the direction of this. Like, it leans into the tactical play. I imagine players like Raymond, who is the player who took the Kato deck to an amazing top 4 in the Dragon World circuit. I imagine he could get some additional use out of this. But yeah, cool card. We'll see how it can be used.
Yeah, you're right. I can definitely see it, because if you have it near Kato, you can have it toss something in front of Kato and then have that Kato toss that thing somewhere else.
Yeah, around is huge, right? Yeah. Around is a lot of spaces. There's a lot of manipulation.
All right, so now we can kill with kindness.
This is an interesting card because it doesn't cost you any resources. Resources I'm talking about being aura or energy, but it asks 3 cards. So that's like effectively best case scenario 10 chi and 3 cards to kill anything with 6 HP or more.
In the arena, no awareness.
In the arena, yeah, no awareness. I feel this doesn't line up well, my concept, because it's like, if you have damage to kill something that's a problem for you, you can't not play it. But then you top deck this, and it's like, oh, like if I haven't played my damage spells, I would have got those resources back and then be able to just dump them to kill this. I don't know.
Yeah,
there's a little awkwardness there.
It is also an action speed. It could be good if the meta was kind of longer, right? If you had longer games, I could definitely see it where you basically run yourself out of resources. Your opponent plays like a huge minion you can't deal with, and then you're just like, all right, discard these cards I can't play anyway. The fact that it's like 6 HP is going to be kind of tough. It's very specific matchups. Maybe like if Angels comes back, they do that little river knee trick where they like move it on and off river knee in the corner. This can help deal with that.
I feel if anyone from our watching this, I feel this is a card that we need to test at Swift Speed to see if it's broken there. and then see if it's not broken there, then that's data. But I feel like at action speed, there's a little too much liability that people are just going to not try to put it in their decks. So I feel this is one that needs to be tried out at Swift first. But I mean, like, we're going to test it as it is as much as we can, but we're also going to be trying to build good decks. So, like, I mean,
and this is also just a 4th mouse card too, right? You can't run this on your main deck without the meta being kind of wild.
Yeah. Cool. Next. Look at me. I'm a dragon. So 8G.
Form of a dragon.
Yeah. So this is a nice callback to, I guess, Zanber Dragon. So it's got that 2x3 awareness, the far front awareness, action enchant for 10 aura, continuous, execute. You have look at me. I'm a dragon's awareness. So for those who are a little bit unsure about mechanics, getting the awareness from this card does not overwrite anything. Generally, this is true for anything. Just anything that gives you additional awareness always is additive, which is why, for example, Kareen's readjust has to say lose the past awareness and gain, otherwise it would always be additive.
Shu or Rain would have like that full awareness, right?
Yes.
But that being said, like, let's, it kind of looks pretty cool, right? Like, we can see like how strong discarding Tsunami to Kareen is if this is an HE, right?
Yeah.
But the actual power level is it's one of those things that I kind of is annoying with enchantments that don't stack. You can't play a lot of these because you don't want to put HEs that are useless, right? Because you play this on yourself, great. It's really powerful. But then you draw your second one, and it's literally useless, and you put an HE for absolutely nothing. Or you don't draw anything because you only have one in your deck because you don't want to draw two, and then you're never going to draw that one of, right?
Yeah. And like, for example, if you play this in a Kareen deck, say you put it on Kareen, because awareness changes are all a single layer, if you ever readjust, Look at Me, I'm a Dragon is now literally just an enchantment that's doing nothing to you, because the timestamp of the lose will just mean that Look at Me, I'm a Dragon is just that does nothing for the rest of the game. But Kareen still wants to be playing like those parries or those Mutiny Hanzaru or those Vada Sphinx.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't run this in Kareen, right? You'd run Tsunami instead.
Yeah, so that's a highlight. Don't play this in
But yeah, and also I feel like for this to be playable, there had to be something else. It would be cool and flavorful if it was like, if you already have Look at Me on a Dragon, deal like, I don't know, 4 damage to a target or 3 damage to a target.
Ooh.
Something that kind of gives it a little bit more even after you already have drawn it.
Yeah, the second copy. So
that's like, obviously you don't want it to be too powerful. Right, like I think 5 damage might be too much, but like maybe do like a Zanber Dragon attack, so it's like actually like a 3 damage Swift at like 1 aura or something like that, or just like for free.
I think the pithy line for this is an HE that does not affect the board the turn it is played to a reasonable amount. So
yeah, I mean, it
like,
can give you
that's
attack,
kind of,
right?
Like, but yeah, I wouldn't call that to a reasonable amount, right? Like, it's like, would you play an HE that was just like with Tashir, like you can deal like an HE that's 3 damage with this awareness, but it costs exert as well. Would you play that in Tashir? Like,
obviously not, right?
Or Kareen? Yeah, you would not. So at HE, this is, I think, warping your deck too much for not enough payoff.
Yep, I agree, but it's kind of cool.
Cool. Meadow. So this is a 3 health, 3 chi, a Swift Trap. So it's gonna go in an occupied spot. And it says champions and summons on Meadow Spring cannot gain or have ailments. So this is the intended function of this is that it's preventing, like cards that cause you to gain ailments or pillar style conditional applications of ailments. If a Swarmed Leo, for example, is on this, it will not lose the decay that's written on it, is the intended mechanics of this card.
Yeah, so if you're on this, you can't get the decay from Caustic Millipede or any other future decay cards. But if you already have decay, you can't walk on a Meadow and lose it. But it does protect you from all the weaknesses and stuff like that. Like all the brands, are those ailments too, right?
Yeah, like what they are applying are ailments. Like ailments is a pacify, the pinned, though I guess pinned isn't released yet, so probably that pinned is an ailment in Future League, but not in the rule book, because like that would be updated with a set release. But yeah, so like all the defined things, check the rule book for what ailments are.
And yeah, I mean, it's a 3-chi. It's got an interesting ability. We'll see. It's a sideboard card. If meta becomes very ailmenty.
Yeah, absolutely. It's either build around, but we don't have build around pieces for it, or it's forethought. So right now it's forethought. Cool.
All right. Up next we have a Pokemon trainer, Misty. Another 3 chi. A lot of 3 chis in here. 1 health, 8 aura.
And then is that awareness?
Oh wow! Look at that. Roundhouse kick awareness. Like 1, and then cast. All spots in Misty's awareness are considered occupied this round. This card seems great. I don't know if it's good, but it seems great.
Yeah, like it is a exert thing, but like that is a pretty interesting. Because okay, so what we're seeing from this is that sometimes you have bad positioning, right? That where like something comes to hit at someone from a side, and they don't get any value because it can't hit back. That would have to be the diagonals. But this is like one of the first summons we're seeing where if it's going to die to an attack that it can't hit back on, it still has something it can do to affect the board until the end of the round, which is pretty hype. Like, this is cool. It's definitely cool.
Yeah.
It's good. It's definitely
Yeah, exactly. It does something I like to slow down the game at 3 chi.
And like, who knows, maybe Minot is like, haha, traps. I mean, this also lets anyone pretend to be Minot with that occupied trap interaction. So maybe there's something there. Who knows?
True.
Next up, we have Momentum. So Swift Execute, 4 energy, 4 chi, no awareness. This round, you have Trigger, Move. Whenever you're dealt damage this round, you may move. Wow, this is a great thing to dump on top of a large stack, which I love. Foresights of the Ancient style, do a big stack and then attack you, and then even if you interact, I'm just cards. This doesn't quite punish that if they're going all the way to Foresight, but just like, yeah, for the ones that are dealing damage, this is pretty sweet. This might be a reasonable way to interact with Nia.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. It's a 4 chi swift speed movement technique, which is kind of nice.
It's delayed, but potentially multiple movements.
Yeah, potentially multiple movements. Of course, the issue is if they're only attacking you once, you get hit by it, right? It protects you from all the other hits. It doesn't protect you from the first hit.
Yes, exactly.
Which can be an issue.
But yeah, just keep in mind that they can respond to the move trigger from one damage with the next one, so it's not a perfect solution, but there's something there. It's forcing interaction in that space. Not trivial.
Yeah. Which is why it is a 4 chi swift speed, right? Because it's so conditional, even if it's powerful.
Yeah, I wouldn't write it off, but maybe it's also more difficult to get full value out of. But definitely worth testing, absolutely.
And this could be fun if they like knock you back, and then you just like say, "All right, I'll get pushed back and then move forward."
I'm trying to think. Active player, non-active player. Your move would actually be before.
Oh, that's true.
If they're hitting you on their turn, your move would be before. If they're hitting you on your turn, then their push is going to be will resolve first.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so it kind of flexes in different directions depending who turn it is. Which, I mean, I think that's good. I think that's
I think good luck explaining that for your judge calls.
Cool. Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean.
So we got a 4 chi, 4 awareness, 1 health summon. So I get excited with this because it feels that we're going to get a lot of payoff when I see that kind of a health and awareness. Action, Beckon, 9 aura. Not too much. That's reasonable. Swift, 3 attack, exert. What?
Yeah, 3 attack.
We got a 4 chi, 3 attack. Holy. And then, wait, we're not done, Eric. We got a
Mr.
trigger
Clean's gonna clean.
Mr. Clean enters the arena. Remove an ailment target around Mr. Clean.
Around?
Yeah, around. That's true. And like with a quick check with Alex, this does in fact remove ailments that are written on cards. So there's a fun little thing to track. Maybe have something like, I don't know, post a note to cover up abilities if you're playing this in real life.
Hey, we use stickers, right?
Yes. Oh, there's a cut. This is one of the cards where I think people are gonna like. It's a trap where like something is amazing and then they put a conditional ability on and people think it's worse than it is. It's 3 attack, 1 health, like 3 attack of 4 chi. It's good. It's good. Just play it. Like.
Yeah, I mean there is another future card, Rampaging Mare, right? That is also 3 attack, 1 health, 4 chi, 9 aura with dash.
Yeah.
So you would probably want to play that over this card.
Yeah, but that is Thymos, right? Yeah, if you're not in Thymos, you don't have
But
access.
this card does seem like it could actually be pretty good. I like it.
And then, yeah, potentially, like, if you've got, like, a hot decay deck, Yeah, like maybe there's like some cards that are worth checking out for some interactions there. I'm trying to think if there's any decay cards in Future League that aren't in Origins or Welcome to Jalara. I don't think they are right now.
All right.
Nee, want to take this one away?
Sure. So
or
we
not
have
River Nee.
the River of Nee in
summon form.
animated. All right. 4 chi, 4 awareness, 2 health. Back in 15 aura. Swift, basic attack 2. Trigger, cast. Whenever a champion or summon moves onto or is placed onto Nee, they gain 1 HP. Continuous non-occupancy. Nee does not occupy the spot it is on. So yeah, this is basically just River Nee in summon form.
Yeah.
So like it loses its health, but it has an attack and it can move around. So one thing that's interesting, it says whenever a champion or summon moves onto or is placed onto Nee, they gain 1 HP. What if Nee moves onto them?
You can't run Nee through your summons just to and yourself to heal yourself for everything. You cannot. Right. Which is good. I think that's a good thing that they made sure this didn't do. It's not just running back and forth healing things around the board.
I'm so disappointed.
I'm happy that they didn't do that. I mean, from a power level perspective. It is pretty expensive though. 15 aura at 4.
Yep. I mean, so was River Needs also 15 aura. But
yeah,
this one's much easier to kill. Like, you know, fireball. Fireball.
Yeah. It's easier to kill, but it's I mean, maybe easier to keep aggressive, right? Fundamentally, yes, it's easy to kill, but also it's hitting back, right? So I think that is worth something, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, the key, I guess, you just have multiples and they heal each other.
Yeah, I mean, you get multiple triggers if you've got a stack of them because you don't occupy. And there's a degree of, if everyone remembers, for our Magic players, if you remember when Pyrostatic Pillar was reprinted as a creature, Eidolon of the Great Revel, all of a sudden, the moment it becomes a creature, it's nuts because it's now not only does it do what it was always doing, which was reasonable and saw play, but now it can do it while beating on your opponent, right? So that's the added benefit here. So I think this is definitely something to keep in mind as a reasonable card. Mm-hmm. The cost is there, but you know.
That reminds me when my opponent had one of those out, and I wanted the Great Revel out, and then I got him down to 1 and laughed.
Yes, I mean that's their fault. They should have traded it off or something.
Ouch! Oh, ouch!
Oh, so are you okay, Eric?
My summon just died. No. This is great. This is wonderful. I'm happy to see this card.
What does it do?
So what does it do? It's right down the screen. Just read it. Anyway, it's a 7 chi, forward awareness, technique. Swift, range attack 4 energy. Swift, summon range attack 6, 8 energy. You deal 6 range damage to target summon and Ouch's awareness. So we finally have it. We finally have the differentiation between champion damage and summon damage. Yes,
this is something that like Future League has been asking for a while because it's felt like there's been a bit of an arms race. All the damage abilities needs to be good enough to deal damage to kill summons, which can have, you know, high health pools. And because of that, the damage that they deal to champions just gets really hard. And then we see Nubia Burn emerge, right? As just like, I'm just going to play damage spells and murder everything.
Yep.
This has been a long time coming. For this particular card, it's cheap enough at 7 chi and it's range attack. I mean, I could actually kind of see this being a flex slot for Bolt Shot.
I think so. If it's in the bolt shot colors, right? You wouldn't want to take out all your bolt shots, but if you have 12 bolt shots, maybe take out 4 or 5, put this in, take out your Violent Bymans, your Angels, stuff like that. There's a lot of like strong 6 health HEs, and sometimes you don't want to or can't deal with it, and this kind of does.
Yeah, the reasoning to not just remove all bolt shots for this is, if you're not familiar with the Nubia Burn deck, is it uses the fact that Bolt Shot does area damage, doesn't target, to allow it to use its own Chrono Walkers to keep up with the opponent's positioning and not let the targeting switch from decoy of Chrono Walker pull the targeting. So you just need to make sure you're always lined up. Mm-hmm. So that's why you don't want to go all out of this.
That being said, I do want to bring up, you can't do summon range attack 6 against a champion, have them Chrono Walker and deal 6. Right, like you do your range attack 4, and then they Chrono Walker, and that Chrono Walker only takes 4. I would like to see them change that. Like, if you eventually target, if it changes from like a champion to a summon, deal the 6 or something like that. Kind of like an extra trigger. There's like deal extra 2 damage if you target a champion and end up hitting a summon. That'd be kind of funny.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm not a rules guy, Mr. Rules King. I want the cards to do what I want, you know. Screw the rules. All right.
Just Sharpie, and now Eric wins
That's right.
Genesis.
All right.
Slam.
Slam.
So we got 8 chi.
Welcome to the jam.
Slam is an 8 chi front awareness. So that is the forward and then forward left and forward right. Swift area attack 7 for a cost of 8 energy, and wait for it, another 8 energy. So why is this done like this? This is for champions that basically the higher your energy reduction, the better this gets.
Yeah. This is done so Essa could have AoE.
Yeah, so Essa gets an AoE here, which does a reasonable fighter style AoE for just 5 and 5, which is, I mean, that is non-trivial. But for an area attack 7's a number that has now shown up for, I guess, the 3rd time.
Yeah, I like it. Your opponent plays summon to their left, summon to the right, you run up, and then you kill them all, deal 7 damage. Obviously, it's very expensive, so,
yeah,
you know, keep that in mind. But
it does a lot.
It does a lot.
Like, if you're hitting the mid-rangey style summons and the champion, like, gosh, this feels good. Maybe this is something for Shun. It's, again, pretty expensive. You can't run a lot of them, but, I mean, Shun's already rating Diving Juke with the Diving Jukes and the Slam. It's probably pretty reasonable that you're going to get that 7 damage off.
Yep.
And then, yeah, can't Chrono Walker out of an area attack. No target, sir.
That's true. And key thing to note, it can one-shot the meta terror that is Lightless to Vicina.
Yes.
It's seeing play in the Idris versus Raha starter decks. But anyway. Alright, yeah. Seems like it could be good in a high energy reduction fighter deck.
Cool. Next one is Slow. So this is the 3 chi forward awareness. Swift execute 5 energy. Negate a quick ability played in Slow's awareness, or Swift execute for 3 energy. Quick abilities can't be played this turn.
Quick is only used for quick beckon, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Because is there quick enchant? Is that how they give enchant fast?
Oh, you know what? You're right. There is quick enchant.
There we go. So yeah, right now it hits Flight, which does see play in the meta, and it's hit Chrono Walker.
Yeah, and Scopophobia.
Scopophobia. Yeah. Okay.
Decoy Rabbit. So I don't know if to be able to counter Chrono Walkers, which I'm all for. But...
I'm all for, but I feel the awareness needs to be a bit better for if we're pulling this off. So I'd say like solid card, but like too difficult to pull off right now, since yeah, it's only quick beckon or quick resurrect beckon. I think there's a quick resurrect beckon somewhere in this game.
Maybe.
Yeah. Or eventually. Yeah.
But yeah, so like right now it seems too limited.
Yeah, and it doesn't hit itself, which is good, because like it's not mental misstep. Like... Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So spare 8 chi again, left, right, forward, awareness, swift cast, 3 energy, and 10 aura. You or target someone in spare's awareness cannot have their health go below 1 this round, and immediate Day of Peace when spares play prevent all damage this round. This is a strong answer to large stacks at 8 chi. It feels a little too situational.
This isn't even just an answer to large stacks. It's just literally like, you can't kill me this turn. And there's nothing you can do about it, right? Because like that immediate means you play it and you immediately can't take any damage, right? They can't respond to that. And then Swift is like if there's any drain attacks on the stack or something like that. Yeah, so yeah, things to note, the immediate doesn't health loss, but the Swift does, which like the only way the immediate is getting on the stack is by playing the Swift. We've talked about before how we don't like our reactive plays at 8 chi because they're asking so much for deck. I like my kill you things at 8 chi. I guess it's a Forethoughts card with its current design. Yeah, that being said, I could maybe see it in some sort of like heavy control deck that really wants to, you know, last a while. Or if like crazy combo decks come out. That is kind of crazy, right? It's a way if you're surrounded to just be like, nope, I'm not taking any damage. And I do wonder how that first ability interacts with stuff like Pain Imp and health paying cards, right? Can you just not play them if you're at 1, I'd imagine? Right?
It might prevent you from paying. It might prevent you from paying go below 1. Yeah. All right.
But this is just a Angel's Embrace, right? Just complete. Yeah, that's the card I'm looking at. But yeah, this is
buys you a turn for 8 chi, which is probably too much chi to ask. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
But it guarantees you a turn, right?
Yes, guarantees you a turn. Yeah. All right. Swirl 7 chi. Roundhouse Kick, so adjacent awareness. Swift Execute for 4 energy. Prevent all damage dealt to you from target ability by a target in Swirl's awareness. And then Execute Trigger. The next ability you play this round has reduced by X, where X is the damage prevented. Probably needs to say prevented by the execute or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is interesting. Like, again, it's a reactive play in the I want to kill you slots as we think of them.
I mean, this could help you kill somebody if you dodge a big attack and then reduce, your next large energy spender. And then all of a sudden, your volley of arrows or something, it costs 0.
Yeah, I mean, I could see this as a sheer sideboard card potentially, because the Nubia Bolt Shot decks, I think when we talked with Palmer, he mentioned that he would walk up and hit using the close space of Bolt Shot as opposed to the further away because of Tashir's awareness
and
more often.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, knockback. So Swirl, potentially something there for Tashir. But again, it requires testing to prove that putting a defensive play in your 7-chi slot is okay. Yeah.
Yeet.
Yeah, Yeet. So let's see. Action Enchant, 10 aura, 6 chi. If you deal damage to a combatant around you with a non-range attack ability, then place them on any spot around you.
Huh.
This is really good. This is kind of super good. Around is such a wide area to care about. It's at 6 chi, so you can play it at a reasonable level to make sure you kind of get it. Huh. I guess it does do things in multiples and that you can...
It does. I was thinking about that. If you want to get some good modify stack triggers off, you can have multiple copies of this.
Or perhaps we'll see the Inferno Pit Yeet deck.
Ooh, I like that. Multiple Inferno Pits, just kind of throw them around. That's actually kind of funny.
We'll have to build that to test that, just for the hilarious.
Yeah, we're gonna with Tosser, Yeets, and Inferno Pits. Let's go.
Yeah,
that's good. That's gonna be good.
Yeah, no, I think this is really good because it's like it lets your attack abilities be positional movement interaction, right? Like if you've got a Yeet on, it's not just you have to have movement tech to dodge enemy abilities. You can do it with just attack abilities, right? Non-range makes it difficult, so like that's something to check out. Attacks which aren't range. And like what the awarenesses are, but who knows? After we do our check and try to build, like maybe there's something here. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems cool.
My understanding of how you analyze non-range attack ability is that the ability has to be attack and it has to be non-range. It's not non-range attack ability; it's non-range attack ability.
Oh.
And yeah.
Oh man, that does make it a lot worse. All right. I mean, love to see. All right, last card.
Simple. So 5 chi, Tsunami Awareness, Action Curse, 8 aura. While you have Simple as a skill, you lose all other abilities that are cast or attack abilities.
Yikes.
Hi, Nubia. Nice card draw.
Hi, anyone, really.
Yeah, really, right?
Wow. Brutal. Just like 5 chi card that just completely shuts down your opponent's champion.
Yeah, I feel this is scary. This feels main boardable, right?
Yeah.
Main boardable to you? It feels like
it does, yeah.
Or prime time lineable. Primable.
Don't say that. Amazon's gonna come after you.
Oh shit, yeah. Yeah, like this is kind of scary. At 6 chi I'd get a little less worried, but when it's neutral chi.
Yeah, you can kind of free roll a couple copies in your deck and just make your opponent...
Yeah, at least 2 copies feels free to me. Drawing a dead card is normal in a game of Genesis. Finite resource. So 2 copies feels free. Just like, what are the champions this is bad against, right?
Well, it would be bad against Malik, because he only has attack abilities. Bad against Tashir, only attack abilities.
Yeah. Too bad this isn't a card that Shun can play. Like, imagine if this was, like, also had the action. Shun could use it to remove the blood loss.
Oh, that's right. It's bad against Shun, yeah.
Yeah, bad against Shun. Yeah, no, this feels main boardable, so this is a little scary, I think.
Brings Kun down to everyone else's level, literally.
Fly or dash, like it
makes Idris balanced. Thing is, though, like, I don't even know if it's like overpowered. I just think it just leads to a kind of salty games and frustrating gameplay.
Yeah, and if you're new to Future League, that is absolutely something that is feedback, right? Like Future League is just not, is this like playable as a card? this card leads to unfun play patterns and unfun games is absolutely negative feedback that HCG wants. So keep that in mind. Cool.
All right, cool. So those are the cards that we've gotten.
Yeah.
To do the champions. The champions are going to be super exciting. Can't wait to see them.
Yeah, we'll do that soon.
You guys won't be able to wait either. It's going to be great. Watch it.
Cool.
Yep. All right. Peace.